Hi everybody, my name is Jennifer Fenton.
And I'm Stephanie Cornejo.
And we are inviting you to come with us and
meet the herd.
So I would like to introduce you to Nashville, who is our very, very first therapy horse. I kind of like to joke around about saying that Nashville taught me as a therapist how to be a much better listener. This horse has an amazing personality. He's got a great sense of humor, but he also has this just really incredible ability to join with people. And so his initial response most of the time is kind of aloof and just like not caring. But if you can really, 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 truly connect with this horse, he literally will follow you around like a puppy dog with no halter and nothing on him at all. And he is just an absolute, absolute love. Hi, Smokey. This is Smokey. And Smokey was a dressage horse. He was a show horse for a long period of time. And he just really had a hard time, like with a lot of like emotional regulation, and he just really was not that interested in doing that kind of work anymore. So his owner surrendered him to us. And ever since he has come here and become a therapy horse, he is like an entirely different horse. He is calm, he's mellow, and he's just amazing and just really loves to connect with people.
And he gets to walk the property because he just does his own thing out there. He walks on the pathway, he gets around the trees and finds what he can eat.
Oh, why Smokey lives with the minis?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Smokey lives with the minis. Smokey has to live with the minis. Why does Smokey have to live with the minis?
Because he's food aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and he's just aggressive.
Yeah.
Towards other horses, not towards people, towards other horses.
Just horses.
Yeah. So, but he's not aggressive towards the minis, so it's okay.
Look at him looking at him.
I know. Nutter's like, what? What are you talking about?
Okay, she's trapped. Just kidding. Just kidding.
She's trapped here. Hello, Miss Penny. Come here. She's like, no, we don't want to.
Oh, she kind of likes. She likes belly scratches.
She likes booby scratches. Is what
likes
she
belly
likes.
scratches. She has a little
belly.
thing going on here.
She does. Okay. So, hi everybody. This is Penny, and Penny is actually our latest horse here at the ranch. She actually was a therapeutic riding horse, and because of the fact that she is kind of spooky and doesn't really necessarily tend to kind of like hold space for being ridden, it was decided that she would be much better off coming over here in our non-riding program. And Stephanie's worked with Penny here and at our other site over in Watsonville, and Stephanie has a lot to say about Penny.
Yes, so Penny's coming from living in a pretty large paddock and being walked every day and working with just a few people every day to living in a large herd. So the people that know her and love her are just really excited to watch her flourish here and build new friendships and connections.
Yeah, she's fit in quite well. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, like day one, she fit in. Oh my goodness. Aww. So this is Monella, and then her best friend is over here, Stephanie.
Yes. This is Tulu, and she's more shy than Monella, but she's here. She struggles with fly allergies, and so we protect her by putting on boots and socks.
Yeah, and Tulu and Monella are both Bureau of Land Management donkeys, which means that they were wild at one time, and they were taken into domestication probably about, I'm gonna say like 15 years ago now. At the time, Monella was actually quite young and Tulu was quite a bit older. So Tulu is definitely a much harder sell and is very shy, whereas Monella, as you can see, is very, very friendly. And her favorite thing of all time is butt scratches. And so you'd focus in on the butt scratches and just really, yeah, there you go. So this is her favorite thing of all time is bottom scratches. And so if you ever want to be friends with Monella, if you just give her some butt scratches, she will be your best friend for life. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, get it from this angle.
He's so cute. Keith and Gemma.
This is Keith and Gemma, and they came from All Seated in a Barn, which is a rescue that we partner with. They do the rescuing and we do the forever home part. And so they've been here for about 5 months, and which means Keith is about 6 months old, and this is his mother, Gemma.
Yeah, and we honor their bonds, and so we don't wean any of our horses. We let mom do that in like the most natural fashion possible. So she gets to do whatever works for her. And she's been weaning him. So he's able to eat regular food, as you can see. And then she only nurses him when she feels like it or when she wants to. And we do separate them for like short periods of time just so that they can build trust with us and understand that they're gonna come back. But Keith has been, gosh, he's just been like a ray of sunshine here at the Equine Healing Collaborative. I mean,
he gets zoomies.
Yes, he gets zoomies. He just brings people so much joy. And then I think the really cool thing for us as a rescue is that this is the first time that we have been able to essentially draw our own slate on one of our rescues. So typically they come with a lot of baggage and stories and neglect and abuse. And so it's just so cool to see him come from a space where that has never been his situation, where he's never needed food, he's never needed water, he's never needed attention or love. And just to see him and watch him and the way he's kind of like come out of, I mean, he's amazing, and he absolutely loves people.
He does, he does. He has been working on his manners. Gemma's been helping a little bit, but she lets kind of the aunties and techs take care of him too while she takes a break. And they all circle him while he naps. So he's growing up with a family, including us.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, so Tex has a disease called Cushing's disease. Hi, buddy, it's okay. He has a disease called Cushing's disease. And one of the symptoms of that is that a horse will actually overgrow their hair. And so he overgrows his coat. When we first got him, he was like a giant fuzzy bear. He does not like Phoebe eating his food. Phoebe's trying to eat his food. Stop it, Phoebe. He looked like an overgrown fuzzy bear. And so we shaved him. And so what that does is it makes them so much more comfortable, especially it helps them to handle the heat and things of that nature. And if, he was not on his medication for quite some time. And so if after his medication and being on it for quite a few months, his coat continues to grow at that rate, then we'll just shave him again.
And this is Belle, this is Silk's best friend. And this is actually a lot of progress that we've been seeing, that they can actually be this far away from each other. When they first moved in, they were quite attached, walking in tandem together. And I just have noticed a huge amount of confidence over the last couple of months. They've only been with us for a couple of months. And their herd is growing, but I think this is pretty much set. So we have Tex, Gemma, Keith is coming up next. We have Belle and Silk, and that is it.
So yeah, like the dapples that you see on her, this is all new. When she came here, her coat was just like super, super dull. And usually what happens with a horse is once they've been given good nutrition and care, and then the grooming is also like incredibly important because it helps the circulation to the skin. But when a horse is like really in a state of being healthier, you'll start to see the dapples come up. Just a couple things about this horse. One of the things that's kind of unique to our area is a disease called silicosis. And so this poor old lady has silicosis, and unfortunately it was not treated for probably a number of years just based off of her condition. So as soon as we saw her and got her, we just kind of looked at her body condition and we had her tested for silicosis, which she came out positive. And so we just immediately treated her. And so since then, physically, she's just doing so much better. And this horse is, 30 years old or close to 30 years old. So she actually looks quite remarkable for her age. And these are our minis. So this is Milo here. Grab more food.
Yes.
And right over here, we have nobody. This is Teddy right here.
And this is oh wait.
Yeah.
This is Roger. And Sky and Nutter. Nutter's our darker mini. And this is Buck and Belle. Beau's our mini donkey and is the son of Rita. And they've lived together for many years, about 8 years now. Oh, oh, there it comes. It's coming.
Oh no! Oh no! And this is Rita and Beau, our mini donkeys. Musical food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are our mini horses, and all of our minis we use therapeutically for people who maybe are kind of intimidated by standard size horses, or for folks who are kind of like smaller or might have physical disabilities, believe it or not. So it's just much easier to be around a much smaller horse. And then also, as clinicians are here in training and they're kind of like getting to know horses and horse behavior, minis are just a really great, safe way for them to be able to do that. We also have a program that we use our minis with where we actually take them into the school setting for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, and we provide them some education on mental health, how to define mental health, how to ask for help. So we normalize asking for mental health support. And we also allow the kiddos to come in to our little portable round pen, and then they're able to actually do a mindfulness activity with our minis. Yay! Yeah, so one of the things that we do here is our horses are grained, medicated, and groomed every single day. So there's a difference between rescuing a horse and then caring for a horse, but more importantly, there's a difference between just kind of rescuing and giving them food, and then also giving them a lot of like stimulation, social stimulation. Jackie over here is one of our main grainer groomers. You can say hi.
Hello. Sorry, I'm shy.
I know, I'm forcing her to be on YouTube. So Jackie's job, basically, she comes here and she just makes sure that the horses get everything that they need. And we actually have roughly about 4 people a day who come out, and that is like their sole job, is to make sure that these horses are groomed, grained, and medicated every single day. So it's quite an operation that we have going here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
She likes it.
Yeah, of course. I love it.
She likes the horses.
Yes.
Yeah. She loves everybody.
Yes.
Yay.
Jackie also helps train the volunteers, and
Oh,
so
yeah,
she's
yeah,
a huge
yeah.
part. She's a huge part of our team, and teaching. And if you understand something really well, you can either continue learning or you can stay stagnant. And I think she's always asking questions and finding out answers for our volunteers. So kudos, thank you so much.
Yeah, we do. We have a very robust volunteer program here. It's so important for the community, but more importantly, for people who come here for treatment and then they have completed treatment, when it's time for them to launch or leave, it's an opportunity for them to come and spend time with the animals who they've developed a pretty significant and important relationship with. And so we really love to have our volunteers here. Not everybody here has been, a former client, but there are several people who are and have been, and so it's just amazing to be able to give them that opportunity. And then sometimes we have people who are actually in treatment who love it here so much, but maybe their clinical presentation doesn't necessarily warrant like 2 or 3 therapy sessions a week, and so they'll come for therapy one day and then they'll volunteer like on another day, and it just gives them that extra hit of just being around these animals and being able to take care of them. And it's so cool, and Jackie helps train all of these folks. It's really helpful.
Yes, I try my best. I'm learning as I go, but I learn something new from everybody here. Everybody's very helpful and great. So thank you guys. Sorry, I really don't know.
Oh, yay, Jackie.
I'm nervous.
Yay, Jackie.
Oh, Bert.
Yay. And here comes Bert.
Bert's gonna help us.
Bert's gonna help us. So Bert actually came from All Seated in a Barn, and as well, he came with 3 of his besties. Hi, are you gonna eat me? He says, I'm gonna eat you. And as you can see, Bert only has one eye, And so he had a pretty significant injury to his eye that needed to be removed. And so he is really shy on this side of his face and has kind of a hard time on that side. But he is just a giant love. We absolutely love having our drafts here. They're amazing because of their size, their strength, and also they just pack on an extra large heap of compassion, I think. Very big boy. He says, "Oh no,
Oh,
I'm
Bert
too
needs
big.
in.
Bert needs to come in too." Yeah. So this is Brutus, and Brutus came in with Bert. They are pretty attached. We don't really have a lot of information about their history, but there's some things that we can make assumptions about their history. Like we know for sure that both of these horses were pulling a cart, and one of the reasons that we know that is because of these scars on their bodies. And so you can see these are areas where the harness basically kind of like rubbed there, and essentially like the hair and the skin is just never going to grow back. And so Brutus also has those. Another thing about Brutus is that you can see his spine. He's got quite a, almost like a hump right there. And that usually comes from them pulling really heavy loads at probably a much too young age. But again, these horses came out of a kill pen. It's actually quite common for draft horses to end up in kill pens and being auctioned off and sold for meat. And so these guys were rescued by All Seated in a Barn, and they live here with us now at the Equine Healing Collaborative, and they just absolutely love it here. Yes, they do.
Oh, there we go.
Big good boy. Oh,
Good boy. He just had dinner.
Oh, he's such a good boy. Okay, let's get out of Jackie's way.
Okay.
We're in Jackie's way.
Bailey's over here.
Stay here with me. Okay. So this is Ella. Ella came to us also from All Seated in a Barn, and she doesn't want anything to do with me. She actually was living with Bert, Brutus, and Bailey. And so because of the fact that we really try to honor horses' relationships, horses remember every human and horse that they've ever met in their entire lives. And so because of the fact that they were just kind of like this quadruplet, we went ahead and we just adopted all four of them together because we just really didn't want to put them through the trauma of being separated from each other again. Ella was probably the hardest one to say, would you say?
Yes, so Ella, we'd see her hiding behind trees and just really standoffish. Didn't really matter who it was. Again, they get pulled every day to come down into our flatter area here to be groomed and given food. And I think that it helped living in this social environment and having the consistency of our staff, volunteers, and clients who come almost weekly.
Yeah.
Because she started to walk a little faster to get to this area, I noticed, when she would get pulled. And I mean, she always lifted her feet great, and she is, very easy to groom. So I think that the size can be just like a,
You
what do you
just
call
really
it?
want to be, he wants to be in the movie. He's just like, I'm a one-eyed horse and I'm going to be in the movie.
All right.
So this is Bailey. And some of the things that you'll notice with Bailey is that she actually has quite the sway back. So it's pretty obvious to us that she was actually used as a brood mare, which means that she was bred a lot and had tons and tons of babies who were then taken away from her and sold off. Once a horse like this is no longer able to breed, eventually they get sold at auction, and then again end up being sold off for slaughter. So Bailey is just really sweet. She's kind of the matriarch of these four, and she has really come out of her shell as well. She didn't really necessarily like being fussed with too much, but in the months that she's been, in the months that she's been here,
Oh, wait.
it's just a party over here. It's just a party of noses in this land. Yes, it's a party of noses. Oh my gosh. They're just amazing. They're so sweet and kind, and they're so affectionate. It's just so cool to see them like this, because this is not the way they were when they necessarily got here at first. Oh my gosh. You're a good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. And that we can talk about, like in the context of their relationships, is the idea of grief and loss, and especially Bailey, with the fact that she's had so much loss in her life. It just really helps to kind of like develop some of those conversations and destigmatize them. It can be so much easier for a client to talk about Bailey's loss, but not necessarily their own loss. And so this just gives us conversation openers where we're able to actually touch on some of those more sensitive topics without being too forward or kind of abrasive. Yeah, unlike you, who's not forward or abrasive at all. Oh my gosh, we have other horses.
Come on, let's go.
We have other horses that need to be introduced
Oh my gosh,
too.
so many.
So many horses.
Oh,
Note to all rescue owners, don't have employees of veterinary hospitals on your board. It's a bad idea. So Chance actually came from our local hospital. He was actually brought in to be euthanized by his owner. And like I said, one of our board members is on worked there at the hospital. And so she saw him, she saw how young he was and how vibrant he was. And so she just felt like it was just unacceptable for him to be euthanized. And so she talked to the owner to see if they would be willing to surrender him. And so he's lived with us ever since. Yes, he has. He just had a minor surgery right there and had that removed. He's kind of, I call him a little bit of our kind of little bit grumpy old man. He can be a little grouchy sometimes. Are you guys okay over here? Are you okay? Are you okay? He says, yes, I'm very okay.
one of my favorite things about Mo, the horse up on the hill right now with the large tail, he is just a joy to work with. The way that he joins my clients and me is just unlike another horse that I have had the privilege of working with. And then the other thing about him is he's different with me than he is when I'm with a client. And so something I appreciate about him is that I will have the client actually walk Mo all the time because he just follows them behind them anyway. So the way Mo likes to be led is from the front, and so Mo likes to have his nose near the back of them. And whether this client is working on boundaries, grief, just like overall connection, living between two houses, struggling with, feeling lonely, Mo's like right there behind their back, just helping them, supporting them, and really lets them lead him wherever they need to go.
Yep. I think my favorite thing about him is that he just has such a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like he just is a clown.
Yes.
And he loves to like make faces at people and things and all of the good stuff. And so it's just so much fun to kind of hang out with him. And he just loves like his little nose boops.
Can I just also say that he knows when it's like 5:30 or 6 and he's done for the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally gets it.
I could see that. So my very favorite story with Mo was we were working with the Boulder Crest Foundation, and we did this week-long retreat for first responders. We were part of it. And, Mo he's actually, he's rotund, but he's actually like quite short. And so we were inviting participants to do what we call heart to heart. And so this gentleman who was probably like 6'4", had a beard, he was like a military veteran, like a combat vet, just like the toughest guy you can possibly imagine. And he was absolutely terrified of Mo. And so when he approached him, he just had his hands all the way out because I just said, we're just gonna, hi, can I help you with something? He says, oh, I'll help you. I'm gonna eat your microphone. Yeah, I'm gonna eat your microphone. Yeah, you're such a good boy. Anyway, so he had his hands all the way out in front of him and just super, super stiff. And the exercise invites people to actually lay their chest where the horse's heart is. And so he was just stiff as a board like this, right, against Mo. And Mo, of course, because he has a sense of humor, is just doing exactly what he's doing right now. So he's fidgeting and he's like getting into stuff and he's like moving around. And then I had the guy just take a couple steps back, and I said, let's just take a couple of deep breaths and just kind of cleanse our mind for a second. And so he was able to do that. And then I said, this time when you come in, I'd really like you to consider, getting a little bit closer. So eventually he kind of draped his arms over the top of Mo, and then essentially allowed himself to just put his upper body and his weight on top of Mo and on top of Mo's back. And in that moment, Mo just really, really settled, and all of his clownishness just disappeared. And you could tell that they had just really kind of joined and entered into this Zen-like state. And the reason that is so impactful or powerful for somebody who has seen combat, a veteran who has seen combat, is because the nervous system, when somebody is going through situations like that, the nervous system gets completely and totally overworked, and they're in this constant state of fight or flight. And so what this does is it actually retrains the nervous system. So it gives the nervous system an opportunity to just settle down. It retrains the nervous system so that then the client can turn around and go back out into the world, and then they can kind of relive this and use guided imagery to repractice it. And it just helps to bring their nervous system all the way back down and to reduce cortisol levels. There's a whole bunch of science behind it. It's quite effective. Yeah.
This is Bocelli, and he is one of our elders of the herd. He has suffered many old wounds that we definitely shed light on, because I think that he is a survivor, and we use him a lot as an example as to how you can really thrive when given the right environment with the right people and given time to heal.
Yeah, and I would say that Bocelli absolutely loves his job and his life as a therapy horse. I was talking earlier about the difference between rescue and then rehabilitation. And so for Bocelli, one of the things that comes up is that every time he engages in any kind of therapeutic process with a client, it is restorative for him. And so it just increases and builds his confidence. It increases and builds his desire for connection. And really, ultimately, that's what we want to see in our clients as well. We want to see them be able to come from a space where they feel like maybe they've been broken, or maybe they are too much for other people, or maybe they've just had a lot of relationships where there's just been a lot of conflict and damage. And so when we kind of talk about the restorative aspects of EAP, and we help people understand that their presence here is rehabilitative for the horses, it gives them purpose and meaning, and then also gives them hope and inspiration, because they can see how he is now and how he connects now. And when we share that past previous story and history with them, it just gives them something that's so powerful and meaningful.
And I do think Bocelli is one of my favorite co-therapists because of the way that he can hold each member of a group. He can really attune himself to what's going on for, member one that goes to do the activity in the group, member two, member three, member four. And sometimes this is over 45 minutes to an hour, and he really can just hold space for them. And that looks like really paying attention to the person's body language, and then the person is actually learning to pay attention to his body language, but usually after the activity. So then we have really a lot to process together. And one way after each activity that we are able to tend to our horses is to actually let the lead rope go, or to actually turn our back or unfocus our energy away from them, so they can actually have a chance to rest after the activities, because they're holding space for so many people. Yeah.
Let's meet Sneakers. Hi, Sneakers. Sneakers. Sneakers is just a sweet, sweet, sweet love. Sneakers actually is one of the worst neglect cases that we have ever come across. So he was pretty much almost completely starved. He was kept in a small paddock, and we'll meet his friend later, Dave. But they were kept in a small paddock, and when they were actually found with a deceased horse. Who we're not really sure what the relationship was between the three of them. We're not sure if the deceased horse was his mother. But anyways, they were essentially belly deep in mud when they were found. And unfortunately, this horse actually had to have his penis amputated because of the fact that it had fallen into the mud and it became necrotic. This horse was very, very challenged when we got a hold of him. He had not been handled at all, and so when a horse is this size and they've never been handled and they haven't been trained to do much or do anything, it really kind of like adds a whole level of danger to the entire process. And so we had to work really hard to get this horse, you know, soft and prepared for therapy. He is incredibly affectionate. He loves being with people. Some of the things that I have seen this horse do is really kind of go back to that story about, you know, rejuvenation and kind of like rising from the ashes like the phoenix. And so when I look at this horse and when I think about this horse in so many ways, I feel like that's his story, and his strength is his story of resilience. And for everything he's been through, he has just the sweetest, kindest little heart. And you know, a lot of times when people are up and they're walking, it's usually going to be Sneakers who comes up and approaches folks first. So we really love this guy.
He's just a naturally curious guy, and I've really appreciated watching the way that the Equine Healing Collaborative has helped him really heal from his story, because he's one of the first 5 horses that I ever put hands on in my entire life. And yeah, to be able to help him through that. I can see his dapple too, now that
Yeah.
and that speaks to how far that he's come too.
For sure. Should we have Brutus or Bert help us sign off?
Bert, yeah, Bert.
So this is part 1 of Meet the Herd. Stay tuned for part 2. But in the meantime, you can support our work and support what we do just by watching our videos.
And liking and subscribing and sharing our videos. Seriously, the more watch time that we get, the more awareness that we raise about our animals in our herd. Oh,
Yeah, do that. I can't talk. Can you? It was so good. What
it
I
was
said.
so good.
Whoa, okay. Okay, stop it and start it again. I can't. Our minis. What happened? What happened? Oh, it's okay. Okay.